All right.
He's not very unselfish.
Welcome to the postgame news conference for Game 8 of the Credit Union 1 West Coast Conference Men's Basketball Championship. We have Santa Clara with head coach Herb Sendek with student athletes Alan Graves and Elijah Mahi. We will go ahead and start with a opening statement with the head coach.
We'll be happy to take any questions that our distinguished group has.
Go ahead with questions for student athletes.
With the West Coast Conference. I guess for the guys first, it seemed like the three-point shot wouldn't miss for the longest time, and then eventually, like the slot machines, they don't work forever. You got a nice, comfortable lead, and then it seemed like the ball wouldn't go in, and the last 5 minutes were a little hairy. What did you think about how the game ended?
Honestly, I feel like we came together. That's one of the big emphasis that we had coming into this tournament. We had a team meeting coming in. We really wanted to come together when teams go on that run and when shots aren't falling. We want to stick together as a team and, pull together and try to get out that slump, whatever it may be, whether it's driving more, whether it's, keep shooting. We are going to keep shooting. We work on it too much not to. So just staying consistent with what we do and really doing our job and focusing on that.
Elijah, how's this win make you guys feel about what you like to do after this tournament, making the NCAAs? Does it get you there, or you still can't think about that?
Nah, just one game at a time. We feel good right now. Every win feels good, obviously, because we work hard to get there, but it's one game at a time, and we just focus on the next opponent the next day.
And for either one of you, just talk about the matchup with St. Mary's. You've had two games of this year. You split them, and the rubber match is tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely exciting. Definitely ready for that rematch. We didn't handle business last time, but this time we're going to be ready, and we know what we got to do, and we're prepared. We're doing the proper steps that we need. We're going to recover, do film, everything we need, and we're going to be ready for tomorrow.
Elijah, is the team's confidence level must be pretty high?
Yeah, but I feel like our confidence is always high. We worked really hard during practice, and we're ready for whatever.
Herb, what did you see tonight that you liked?
I thought our guys played with great toughness. That's a good basketball team that we just played, and another clear reflection of how strong our league is. We had to offset a spectacular performance by Elias Ralph and give Pacific a lot of credit. They had a hell of a year, and tonight the game was fought tooth and nail. There wasn't much breathing room on either end, and our guys, to their credit, found a way, and I think the discovery was made through their toughness, and not to imply the Pacific wasn't.
So a game like tomorrow, Herb, is it nerve-wracking, or is it fun, or is it both?
We don't have the luxury of going into those kind of rooms. Right now we have a short turnaround, and our focus needs to be on the things that we can control, our preparation and our recovery, and just have the mindset this group has always had. They're very much a present moment, here and now team, and we're not, when you're in the arena, you just don't have the luxury to entertain a lot of outside emotions or commentary.
What did you learn about your team and about this matchup with St. Mary's in the first two games? Had different results, obviously, but what did you come out of that
every
with?
Every game is its complete and own story. There may be some lessons learned both ways, right? So I thought they made some really nice adjustments from game 2-1. Nobody prepares better than they do, right? They're renowned for that. And we'll look at the last two games from our perspective and see what we could possibly address, and go play tomorrow. But, the third game is going to be independent of the first two. It's going to start 0-0 tomorrow, and the game will have things that none of us can predict right now.
Thomas Dunn, unofficial WCC podcast. Elijah, you walked in here. You guys are talking about rebounding. Pacific is a really good rebounding team. Can you just describe the battle that it took and kind of the team effort it took to eventually win the boards?
Yeah, like you said, they're a good rebounding team, but we knew that like we had to go out there and play hard and scrap out all the rebounds that we can get, and offensively and defensively, and it showed that we did that today, so it was good.
And Alan, the stats may not do him justice, but I thought you and Sosh were working together pretty well. He was probing well and eventually kicking out to you guys. What have you kind of noticed about his development over the course of the season, eventually how he kind of put together a solid game tonight?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, like you said, the stats wouldn't show it, but he was definitely a key piece in our win tonight. And you know, him finding the assist, knocking down shots. You know, and he's definitely came a long way from the beginning of the season to now. And I think we all have, in a sense. You know, we building that confidence. You know, our program does a great job of building confidence in players and just continue to keep us, you know, encouraged every time we do something. You know, coach does a great job of that. We all, as players, we all come together. We support each other, and we always will.
Any questions for the student athletes? Question for coach? All right, student athletes, you can go.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Coach, you mentioned the story being different each and every game against St. Mary's. In the second game, minus 30 on the glass. What's the initial message to, as a team, corral it?
Well, year over year, St. Mary's is one of the elite rebounding teams in the country. And so I don't think anybody was surprised by their performance on the glass. From our standpoint, obviously, that can't happen again, right? But it wasn't just a function of rebounding, right? We were put in rotations that facilitated their rebounding, right? It wasn't that our guys weren't trying to block out or go after the ball. That's not what the film says. We, on a number of possessions, were displaced in ways that advantaged them in rebounding. And on top of it, not to downplay the rebounding massacre in game two, you know, we literally had two in our hands that we dropped out of bounds. So, you know, things are never as good or as bad as they may seem. We had other issues in the game in addition to the rebounding, and some of those issues are connected.
One of those items to take care of against St. Mary's tomorrow, that they had really good downhill play, both Dent and Lewis. In the last game, what's the hardest part about corralling two ball handlers who can get downhill at the point of attack?
Yeah, well, they do a great job with their pick and roll game. They're masters at reading the coverage, finding where you're vulnerable, and they play with great vision and purpose, and they tack accordingly. So it's like if you do this, then they do that. If you do this, then they do that. So it's a game of cat and mouse to some degree. But, you know, what they do on one hand is relatively simple, but on the other hand, they do it, it's relatively complex, right? Because they have so many, they just have a great ability to take apart whatever you're doing.
Thank you, coach.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Good job. Welcome to the postgame news conference for Game 8 of the Credit Union 1 West Coast Conference Men's Basketball Championship. We have Pacific with head coach Dave Smart and student athletes Elias Ralph and Jaden Clayton. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach.
That's a really good basketball team. It's a team we've struggled against, and I thought we fought pretty hard, but I mean they made timely shots, and you know, when they got offensive rebounds, they really hurt us in terms of second chance points, and they just made big plays, and they're an NCAA tournament team, and it shows. I mean, they're hard to cover. They're really hard to cover, and they got going early, and we stemmed the tide a little bit and got ourselves back into a 2-point game, and we're defending, but he does a really good job, and his guys, they've got a really good team. They've had a really good team for the last 2 years that I've been in this league, and that's a team that would compete without question in the Big 12. And maybe not at the very top of the league, but certainly in the middle, right out of the top 3 or 4. So I mean that's a really good basketball team, and it's been like that for 2 years. I mean, as far as my guys, I can't say enough. I just talked to them now, but the group of seniors have been so unbelievable. But our whole group, the culture and the commitment to getting better and fighting every time we walked on the floor. I mean, we had to fight every game we played. I mean, every time we walked on the floor, and we really only had, in my mind, one game where we didn't play particularly hard and well. Other than that, we fought every single game, and that game was early in the year, and we bounced back quickly from it. I mean, it's just a credit to all the seniors, but also the guys who, I was talking about our scout team. Like, those guys, like, they took it seriously, and they worked hard, and they did a ton of things that made it hard for anyone involved in the program not to work hard and play hard and focus on every possession, every minute, because they were doing so much behind the scenes to help our team. You felt like, if they're doing that much, we got to give back. So I mean, it was a real group effort. I mean, like, this is one of my favorite teams of 35 years of coaching, and if someone had told me that when I got into the portal world, that I'd have a team in my top 10 over 35 years when you're in the portal world, because it's all new guys. Like, there's so many, especially in this league, there's so much turnover. The guys who don't play a lot go to lower leagues. The guys who play a lot get millions of dollars to go to higher leagues. There's so much turnaround in this league, because we're kind of in that middle group at 8, and to have this type of special group, it's pretty incredible to me. I would have told anyone who told me you'll have a team at Pacific who's top 5 most committed and loyal and hard-working teams you've ever had in your career coaching, I'd go, you are nuts in this world. I don't care what school you're at. I don't care what you're doing in the portal world. I can't see it. I was at a non-scholarship school. I had guys for 4 or 5 years. I mean, it was different. And this group, definitely top 3 or 4.
We'll go ahead with questions for the student athletes.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrado with the West Coast Conference. Jaden, you guys, I think, were within about 8 or 10 at one point, 6 or 8 minutes into the second half, and they hit 4 3-pointers in less than 2 minutes. Did that onslaught kind of catch you by surprise, or is there anything you could do about it when a team gets that hot that quickly?
Yeah, no, honestly, I just think that we knew that they had the capability of shooting like that, because we've scouted and stuff like that. But honestly, when guys start to get hot, our biggest thing is being able to get them off the line and force offside kickouts +1 with their weakness. And I just don't think that we did that necessarily, getting guys to do their weakness and just letting them shoot open shots. So I wouldn't say that we were necessarily surprised, because we didn't follow the scout to the fullest. But I think if we had done that, then I think that would have closed off that gap with them hitting those 4 threes in a row.
Elias, I remember talking to you during the season, and we talked about the fact that you weren't sure what you were going to walk into when you came down here to play at Pacific and in the WCC. And I'm wondering, as you looked at the past 2 years now, and maybe you guys still get another game, I don't know, but what's this been like for you, and how satisfied are you that you made the decision to come?
I'm so thankful. I'm just thankful to God and everyone who's been in my corner. I didn't know what was going to happen. Just kind of went with my coach from Victoria, and then came down to Pacific, and Coach Smart just trusted me right away with the ball, let me make mistakes, and first year didn't go too great, and then next year we brought in an amazing group of guys who were just, I'm just so proud of everyone on this team, and we kind of turned it around this year, so I'm very happy that was kind of the last season.
Did this experience demonstrate to you that you can keep playing ball after college, and was that something you was even on the horizon for you before you came to Pacific?
Yeah, it's definitely something I thought about, but I think seeing that I can kind of play at this level is just giving me more confidence to go beyond.
Thomas Dunn, unofficial WCC podcast. Jaden, despite the onslaught of threes they had, you were keeping them honest all throughout the second half, and you in particular were helping to get in the ball, swinging the ball around. What were you guys seeing on the offensive end that kind of kept you guys in it for the most part?
Yeah, I just thought we were sharing the ball at a high level. Obviously when you have a player like Eli, he attracts so much attention. So when he gets the ball down there, he's able to make reads and get two guys on him, and then it's just easier for everyone else. So I think once Eli got the ball down there, offensively, it just opened up everything else for everyone. Honestly, you have Justin cutting, TJ with open threes, myself being able to duck it in down low. So honestly, a lot of credit goes to Eli because he's such a great player and garners so much attention that it just makes it easier for everyone else. So I think that was our biggest thing.
Elias, you mentioned how candid you are about your time at Pacific. I assume based on that, you'd be interested, should you guys get selected for a tournament, to keep on playing?
Yeah, for sure. I want to play with this group as long as I can.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Student athletes, you're free to go. Thank you. Questions for the coach?
So, Dave, you say that this is Santa Clara's an NCAA team. Do you think they're in now?
I think it would be tough to not be in because, I mean, I don't know how, I mean, I'm not on the committee, and I'm just some dumb Canadian guy who's down here trying his best to win some games at Pacific. So we're trying to get in the NIT and then hopefully next year get into the NCAA. But, I mean, they're in right now, and the only loss they could have going forward is to another team that's clearly in. So, I mean, I think they are in, and I think they should be in, and I think they're going to be a scary opponent for whoever they play. I mean, I think they'll probably be somewhere in the 7 to 10 range, and I think in that range, I just think their talent level and the way they shoot it and the way they move it, I mean, makes them a really, really tough out. I mean, I think all three teams in our league who will play in the NCAA tournament are going to be tough outs for different reasons. We all have our holes, but those three teams, if the game's played the way they want it to be played, they're hard to beat.
Coach, this season you guys have taken immense strides in trying to build this program. How do you contextualize kind of the journey of year two and eventually even beyond the fact of potentially getting an NIT bid or another tournament bid of what you guys have accomplished this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think you start the year expecting to get better, and that was the goal, and we did, and we won a lot of games compared to last year and compared to where the program's been in the past. I mean, this is the first Sunday they've played in the WCC tournament in the history of their time in the WCC tournament. And I'm not going to pretend that when I was thinking about taking the job and when I did take the job, I got a lot of friends in this business who were going, "What are you doing?" And I felt like, as I said yesterday, with our president and our AD and the community, the community now, I didn't know the community at the time, but with the president and the AD at the time, I felt like this place, we had a chance at this place. And I mean, no one else who was close to me thought we did, and no one else thought I should take the position. As I said yesterday, I had a great thing going at Tech. I was coaching with a great coach in a great conference, but I'm glad we're here, and I'm glad our family's here, and I'm happy with our progress, but not satisfied. You know, I think we could have got to 22, 23 wins. I mean, I think everybody looks and goes, they can find 4 or 5 wins, but I think I look at it a little more realistic, because I think I could find 8 wins, but I could also find 3 losses. So I feel like I think some people do I could find 8 wins and say, well, we could have won 26. Well, no, because you got fortunate in 3 or 4 that you won. So I mean, I think there are 7 that we could have won that we didn't win, and 3 or maybe 4 that we won that we could have easily lost. So I think we could have got 21, 22, and you know, the goal next year is to get better from this year, and you know, maybe we'll see you guys on a Monday night. That would be cool.
You do indeed have a chance to potentially get to 20 plus if you are selected to a postseason tournament. But beyond that, what's it been like witnessing the growth even within this season? You know what Elias Ralph can do. You have seen what he can do, but to take it kind of almost to another level, so to speak, and especially tonight, what do you make of his growth?
Well, I mean, I think these 2 guys are the perfect 2 to be in the room at the end of the year, because Elias coming back and just who he is as a human being, like it's really hard not to do the right things when he's the mainstay. He's the guy coming back. He's our best player, and he's, you know, off the court, he's just an unbelievably great person. You know, like he does the right thing all the time. He doesn't do it. I'm not going to say things that people do, but he doesn't do any of them. Like any of the bad stuff. He like I never worry about Elias doing anything that would upset me off the court at all. On the court, sometimes I get mad at his defense at times, but you know, there's very few times on the court he annoys me. And then we bring Jaden in, who with Elias is just such an unbelievable leader. You hear how he talks. You hear how he talks about Elias. That's how he feels about all his teammates. You know, like he apologized for how he played, and he had nine assists and 1 turnover in 31 minutes. You know, like, and he's talking about going 1 for 5 from the 3. It's like, if it's bad, he owns all of it. If it's good, he gives it all to everybody else. He talks about like guys scoring. Well, he had 9 assists, so 18 to 22 of those points were because of him. And like, he's giving all the credit to other people. Well, he's getting them those baskets, and he's not taking any of the credit. And this is just who he is. And the 2 of them are just a great combination in terms of leadership, because Elias he's not going to get in anybody. He's not going to scream and yell. And he's a really quiet guy, but he's such a great leader by example. And then Jaden, you know, he really is a great communicator with his teammates. And you know, that's why we brought him in, because we knew he was like that. You know, he hasn't disappointed.
Any more questions? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.